Does that make sense? So what I would do immediately is go, I know that at some point in what I have practice, so let's say 30 minutes of tumbling. Or if you don't know, say, okay, that's my tumbling. I know where I left off. I'm picking up right when I get my team back.
Do minutes instead of time.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So that's a great idea. So if you say, I'm working 7 minutes on this, it might be from this time to this time, but it's still 7 minutes. Yeah. And then, that would work better. High school age kids can handle nothing longer than 9 to 12 minutes. And a child with ADD is back to the 7 minute. So the thing is, that these kids understand the psychological aspect of early childhood development. And that's the deal. So when you're working a stunt and you're like, we're going to work this pyramid, after 9 minutes, it's time to stop working a pyramid because it's not going to get any better. Or the kids are going to get frustrated, they're going to start breaking down. The other thing I just want to challenge is change our philosophy as a gym on how we're going to discipline or start TL. And I know that that's something I want to challenge you to the next 2 practices to, 1, allow your kids to talk in practice. I'm going to challenge you for this. It's going to drive you insane and you're going to want to kill yourself. But I promise, after about 3 practices, it will be different. And what you say to your kids is you sit them down in a little meeting at the beginning of practice, you say, you can talk all you want. Talk about Justin Bieber, talk about Glee, talk about your boyfriends, talk about what happened this week. Just the only time you can't talk is when I'm talking. That's the only rule. We all good with that? Awesome. So when you're working with a stunt and they want to go have a seat and just talk and blah, 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 or even while they're building the stunt, they're like, oh, did you check out who did this, blah, blah, blah. Totally okay. I promise you, after 4 practices, they run out of things to talk about. It's true. After about 4 practices, there's only so many times I'm going to listen to her tell me about how much she loves Justin Bieber. And it's done. And the next thing you know, about 4 practices later, they're talking about cheerleading. They're talking about, can you hit this stunt? Because this is getting there. Oh, change your grip on this, which is what we want them to ultimately do. Communication is key. So challenge yourself, challenge those kids to start to do that. The other thing is to whisper when you get upset, which is totally different.
Oh my God, this is possible for me.
All right.
I've known you for a very long time.
Yeah. I've known you for a very long time.
I'm ready to help me with that one.
Okay, whisper obscenities then.
But the key to that is the key to that is, especially in a very busy environment, if I start to whisper, your kids will go, what the hell is going on? And they'll pull in closer, pull in as a group, and I'm gonna whisper to you before I kill you. Okay? Before I lose my mind, this is how I'm gonna talk to you. And we're gonna talk about how this stuff gets in. We're gonna talk about this. And they're gonna be like, all of a sudden just leaning in, and you're gonna notice, wow, I have every single person's attention. I promise. You just try a couple of these tricks, go through it. I'm fully aware that sometimes you do need to raise your voice, like, come on, let's go, get this. The only time you raise your voice is when you're excited and happy. That's it. They'll stop toning you out. And then they'll know that this dead silent stare means I'm going to lose my life because I'm about to see Coach flip out. It builds fear in silence, and fear, silence is deadly.
It works. I do it to my kids all the time. I stop and I'm talking all, and they stop and they all, about 2 minutes later, like, shut up.
Moms do it all the time. My mom has the most deadliest silence. The worst thing, my mom, I would say, Mom, I'm sorry, and she'll go, me too. And I'm like, it didn't even cure anything. It just sucks. All right, so that's my point. So those are the things. I did bring, and then Denise is going to talk because you don't need to listen to me. But I just spoke at a conference in Canada, the Canadian National Coaches Conference, and a couple of the things that I handed out, these 2 things, I had extras. So when I came back, and one is the 5 dysfunctions of a team. It's kind of a breakdown. You want to read it over, ask questions. My email and phone number is on the bottom. If you need to call and vent, email me questions, stunt questions, any of those things like, hey, should this be in the routine? Scoring wise, what do you think I should do? Email is the best thing. Sometimes the text messages, it just takes a while. I travel internationally. I leave for Costa Rica tomorrow. So the thing is like, I'm not getting that. But email is best. So you're welcome to do that, and you're welcome to take any of these if you'd like. The other one is the truth room behind the judges table, which I know she's going to cover some of things on there as well, because Denise and I judge together all the time, and I know exactly what she's going to talk to you about. So it's kind of good. But other than that, this is Denise Baker, and so please welcome.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Watch the wet, watch the wet, watch the wet.
That's right.
That's it.
Pass them around.
Yeah, pass them around.
Take one, pass them around.
Alrighty. Well, when I'm talking, write down what you want to ask or ask me. I don't care. We're just gonna be real relaxed. Okay, that's a good way to do it. The first thing I want to tell you is what I'm going to say is not.
How great your tumbling coach is.
Yes.
Oh
I do have a comment about that. And I told the kids too. What I'm going to say, anything I'm going to say is not to hurt your feelings in any way. This is just information that I want you to, when you're watching your routine, when you get, right ready before a competition, quit looking at your routine from a coach's standpoint. You have to look at it from a judge's standpoint. You have to look at it from what I'm looking at. Okay? What you're focused on is different than what we're looking at. And that's the, if I can get nothing else through, that's what you need to know. Okay? And I want you to look at it logically from our side. Okay? You know what your kids can do, but I don't. So you have to put it out there in a manner that I can see it. Okay? And that means choreography. A lot of times it's choreography. And, we know all about smoke and mirrors. You're hiding the stunt group that doesn't hit. You're hiding the girl in the back that doesn't have good flexibility on her jumps. We get it. I mean, I've been doing this since '83. I've seen it. Okay? Don't think we don't. We do. So you need to not try to hide things. If you want us to give you full value for the skills that you are laying on that mat, put them where I can see them. If you're cross tumbling and you've got my eyes pulled to this corner and then you throw your double to that back corner at the same time you're throwing a layout to this corner, I might miss one of them. And we know that at the level these kids are at, level 5, everybody is doing just about the same skills. It's how they put them together and how they tie them together that make the difference. Okay, now, if you don't take anything else except look at it from my point instead of your point, it is your routine. It is your team. You should be vested in what they're doing. But if I write you a note to tell you to do something, change something, you need to do it. And it's not just me. If the judges are telling you that, it's not me telling you like I'm the be-all to end-all. I am certainly not. But I'm telling you from my point of view to help you when you go to your next competition. It is so frustrating. I saw a team, it was early on in maybe the 3rd or 4th year of Worlds, saw them in Dallas. They only had one toss. Saw them in California. Wrote them a note in Dallas. You need to add more tosses. Saw them in California. One toss, still. Wrote them a note again. The 3rd time I saw them, I went down the side of the page, flipped it over, and kept going. And I said, because they had a World's bid. I said, if you want to go to Worlds and spend all that money and all that time and get a really bad score, continue doing what you're doing.
Wow.
Because you're dead on it. But if I'm writing you a comment and I'm telling you you are not going to score, if you continue to do that, you need to change it. If you don't know how to change it, get somebody else in the gym that knows how to fix it. Because I said, Ryan, what is wrong with these coaches? Why am I writing these notes and they don't do anything? He said, sometimes they just don't know how to fix the problem. So, for the betterment of your kids, if you don't know how to fix it, get somebody. Or get Ron and he'll get somebody. Whatever it takes. Because there's no sense in wasting all that time, money, and energy and not getting where you want to be. Now, how many of you, I don't know what levels you have, but how many of you would have won or placed much higher if you got 5 to 10 extra points on your routine last year.
We all the time.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you right now how to get it. So get your pencil and paper out or whatever. I'm just teasing. It's bigger. All right. And it's called details. It's called details. That's what it's all about. And I just told your kids some of this too. But I'm gonna tell you, I told them it's up to them to work on it. They're the only ones that can make a difference in these details. But you have to keep on them and you have to encourage them. First one is, the D is for dance. Difficulty in your dance. Okay. The pink squad, the first squad really liked the movement in that dance. I don't, really like the movement. Needs to be much cleaner, of course. The second group, that dance, I would do some work on that dance. It has a lot of bent arms in it and a lot of almost looking freestyle, kind of like, that is going to be real hard to ever get it clean. Now, if it gets clean, it could be something. Not sure that I wouldn't do a little tweaking on that at some point. See if you can't get it clean first and leave it like it is. But if you can't get it clean, it's got to go. But they need to, every day in practice, they need to dance like they mean it every time they step out on the floor. I'm talking full out every time on the dance. So many times they get to the end of their routine, they have no stamina. How are they going to get it? By marking it? Y'all need to do it full out every time. If you have to wait and do dance last in your practice every day, then that's fine. If you run through it 4 times, that's fine, but do it full out every time. Can't tell you how many times I wrote, looked like you were marking your dance. They will do it. They will execute it on the mat that day, just like they practice it. So it's up to you. It's your call. It's your call. All right. That's the D. E is for energy. Exude confidence and let your energy show. When they step on the mat, it is so refreshing to watch a team that walks out there and they look like they know what they're doing. They're not scared. They're not practicing their full in the corner. If you're practicing your full, I'm thinking, I don't even know if they're going to hit that or not. I'm going to watch her fall.
And a lot of them have made such a habit out of doing that. It's just like, they just get out there and just start.
Well, watch it all day like we do.
I don't think they realize that they're doing it, some of them.
Or they
It's like
think they're
second
cool
nature.
doing it. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's
So, but show,
Yeah.
be confident. Instill in them whatever you have to do. I just told them they've got the material, but I told them it was up to them to execute the material and to walk out there and give me those natural looking smiles, like I'm going to do this and I'm going to have fun doing this, and I'm going to walk off and I'm going to smile because I did my best. And that's what I want you to have them exude. That whatever you do, whatever you have to do, however you have to stroke them to get them to go on the mat, do that so that they feel good about themselves, and it will show in the performance, top to bottom. All right, T. Timing, toes, and tightness. Timing. One of the kids asked me, I let them ask me questions. They asked me, music, does that have an impact? Not unless it's bad. I personally hate when it's 4 counts of this, 4 counts of that, 8 counts of this. I really think that has a huge impact on a lot of routines, that sometimes that makes their timing look off because the music is so choppy. Be careful of that. Everybody has their own preference. No, I don't listen to the music except to see that they are moving to the music. And I like I like 70s music. Those are my favorite routines.
That's what I was going to ask you. What is the response to judges that they don't get tired of hearing the new music that's out all the time?
Yeah, I swear, last year, I teach Zumba for fun, and the girl I teach with, she loved that Katy Perry fireworks.
Oh
my! So I do her choreography for her Zumba, and she says, I love this song. I just love this song. I found it. I want you to do me a warm up to this song. And I went, what is it? And she said, oh, and she told me, and I went, oh, hell no. Oh no, I'm not doing that song. I said, I listen to that every weekend that I'm gone. I'm listening to that. So yeah, that does get really old.
Quick.
Now the year Sexy Back was going on. I really like that song. So that one worked for me. Okay. But you did get, so, you know, try to get some more flavoring. Try to get some songs, because not many of the judges are the age the kids are. You know, we're usually retired coaches and so forth and so on. So we do like some of the older music. It's okay. But get something fun that the kids are going to like and they're not going to get tired of. But I do think that the choppy music impacts the timing of your routine, start to finish. If you can't count it, they probably can't either.
Do you like themes? Like themes put together with choreography?
Themes
with
don't
the
bother
music
me.
And
Things don't bother me.
But it doesn't influence you either.
No.
But is it more memorable to you? Like, oh, that team, I remember they had this theme. Okay.
No.
Basically, music's really unimportant.
It's just blah, 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 blah,
It's
blah.
what they do with the music and how they do it.
Yeah, and you know, and it really, some of the places that in Canada, they pass us earplugs. They give us earplugs while we judge. Because it's really loud, and it really, I think I'm going deaf from cheerleading. Judging. Toes, and I talked to your kids about toes and tightness. Okay, I want you to point your toes in everything, every skill. Even when you're in your lib, that toe should be pointed. Okay? Overall, I thought your tumbling I really like the height that most of your kids are going into their fulls. That's really refreshing to see. We do see some pretty jacked up fulls on the mat, start to finish of the season. So I do like that most of them are really nice height. But a lot of piked over layouts, and we're just not going to give credit for them. So you might as well do a back tuck. If you're going to pike your layout, just do a tuck, because that's what you're doing. If you're going to flex those feet, boy, you think you got this beautiful layout coming in and they flex their feet. What's that about? It is so pretty. I love nice, pretty layouts.
I think that's prettier than anything if they go right.
Yeah, if they're done right. Yeah, if they're jacked up, they're just jacked up. Yeah. But toes, fulls, double downs, cradles. Are they pointing their toes in their cradle? Y'all, these are the little things, and this is what makes the difference in your top placing team, is that they pay attention to the details. Is their stunt sequence harder than yours? No, it's probably just rearranged a little. Are they going to have doubles? Yeah. Are they going to? Yeah. Are they going to double down out of that? Yeah. But how does it look when they're doubling? The legs apart on any twisting skill. Boy, that just sets me on fire. Okay?
You're from arms by your sides, Christine.
The whole team should be the same.
Okay.
And that's something as a gym y'all should do. As a gym, decide that. And the same for jump, arm placements. That's the next one. But remember tight body positions in tosses and stunts. So that's our T's: timing, toes, and tightness. Okay. A is for attitude and arms. Okay. It's kind of funny when you watch a stunt come down, how they react. Did they just think their whole world ended? No, it did not. But if they are instilled with that, then they're going to fall apart, and it's not going to be just that one stunt, because stunts have fallen in winning routines. But if their attitude changes because they come down and then they just blow the whole routine off, where are you? you may not be coming back second day type thing, you know. So you got to have that positive attitude, and you know you can tell. It's so funny. You can tell on their little faces, the ones that, my God, I never hit that pyramid before, or the ones that go, they're just shocked because it's like, I've never missed that, and they're so cute because you can just read their faces. So positive attitude so that they can continue on. Match your arms in all skill sets. I was going to tell you that. On your jumps, your arms are not matched.
Yeah.
You're still going to work the flexibility on that too. But your arms are not matched in your jumps. Arms are not matched in your stunts. The co-ed team, who's that? One of those boys has got some fierce bent wrist. Okay?
1 or 5.
5 of the 4.
I saw one guy, he was even, so anyway, that, you know, that is just.
Yeah.
Do you ever walk in a room and a picture's crooked? Does that drive you crazy?
Oh my God.
Well, welcome to my world.
The whole way in my house.
Because when I am looking at a pyramid and one side is a nice angle and the other side is straight up, that's a crooked picture to me. So match your arms in all of your skill sets. The same thing with stunts, you know, if they're pulling their skirt and one of them's barely pulling and the other one's seriously pulling it, you just made the one that can barely pull it look really bad by having that girl who has the exceptional flexibility. You got to make them match. So think of it when you're looking at that routine and you're getting ready to go to a competition, then think about the pictures. And everything is a picture. Your stunts are a picture, your pyramids are a picture, the top of your jumps, they're all pictures. Slow them down, look at them. Make the kids watch themselves in that.
I
Yeah.
have a question though. With that, if we have like 3 girls that have a phenomenal bow and arrow, but one that has a really leaning bed, and we put them all, or like the scorpion, if we have girls that have it way high, but one that is average, or maybe even just there, if we bring everybody down to where they're the same, does that hurt us?
No.
Okay.
That's how.
No, because this is the same thing. Like the I'm just gonna give you an example. I don't know. Maybe y'all do this. I don't know. You do. Sorry, but you know, you got the one girl that's gonna do a standing double right at the front. Do y'all think that adds to your score sheet?
No.
Oh, hell
Not
no.
only majority, you need majority anyway.
No. So it's the same thing. You got one girl that's got extreme flexibility. If they're holding the stunt and they're matched, that's better. All you're telling me otherwise is that these 3 girls have this flexibility and this one doesn't. So you're still doing a squirt or a bow and arrow. You're still doing the stunt. And a lot of, you would like for everybody to have equal execution, but you put it up there, you look at it and see if that makes you happy. If one is not looking like the other 3, you decide. And if you think, you know, pull them down, then yeah. Or, you know, put one back on, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The best way to do that is maybe grab their toes. Like, even in Top Gun, like, everyone in the team should like surprise one girl that they're doing everyone grabbing by the toes, and then everyone's in the same way.
Oh, okay.
So, and this is not just little pop. These are little baby little ones too. You know, bless them, love them. Okay, incorporation of skills. Do not over choreograph. I would seriously suggest to you to time your routine and you'll have to work together on it, but get somebody to time exactly how many seconds you're in stunts, how many seconds you are in tumbling, how many you are in pyramid, dance, how many are you in transition. Okay? Now, are the scores the same on the score sheet? Does dance have the same number of points that stunts do? Some score sheets they do, and some they don't.
And some they don't.
You have to weigh that out.
There's a jam score sheet. You're gonna have to jam everything in you need in one little area. They're overkill. but yet you go to another
So,
competition, it's just
You've
get
got
the
to
skill.
look.
Get the
You've
skill.
got to look at it, and you need to weigh that out, and you need to know that information going in, because if you're not spending enough time in dance, you're not going to get what you need to do. You need to figure out how much time you're spending in transition, because what is transition? If it's not done well, it's a wasted time. It's a wasted time. So use your transitions by doing skills. The best routines to me are the ones where you never see a transition happen. I never see a kid walk across the floor. I never see a kid tumble from one side of the mat to the other just because they need to be in that stunt group. That drives us crazy. We'll go, why did coach do that? What were they thinking? So organize your transitions, cut them down to a minimum to allow for more time to get the points you need. Because transitions, yes, you're going to be scored for, what is it usually? See, I hadn't judged this season yet, so I have to think. Transitions and something.
Well, clean and seamless is what you're looking for. I mean, score
Yeah.
sheets, clean and seamless.
Spacing.
Yeah.
Formations.
Yeah. Formations, transitions, there are a lot, I think, on the board.
Usually the
Yeah.
same.
So, and
I haven't judged in like 3 years, but yeah.
Yeah, formations,
I was trying to
transitions.
think back.
I told Ryan, I said,
sorry.
Ryan, I haven't even judged until November
Yeah.
yet. Give me a minute to think. When you are doing pyramid of transitions, let me just give you a heads up. This was a kind of a punch phrase last year at Worlds. The transitions in your pyramids need to make sense. We have seen them where it's like transition, transition, transition. Oh yeah, maybe a structure and transition out. Okay, first of all, if you only have one structure and it follows, you got nothing. Secondly, they need to make sense. Just to watch you bob them around doesn't really work for us. It needs to make sense. It needs to be that I am transitioning to get to another structure. Does that make
Mhm.
am I-
Yeah, absolute sense.
Okay, that's incorporation of skill. Don't over choreograph. If you need, get your points and get the hell out. Do you need that last tumbling pass? Do you need that second stunt sequence? Do you need 4 structures in your pyramid? Okay, the more you do, the more you risk what?
Mistakes, deductions.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if they're fatigued. Give them time. They're not going to fall on a dance. You know what I'm saying? And if you can spend a little more time there by working in that, get your points, get out. Because it says, you do this skill, you're going to score in this range. If you do that skill again and you fall, you're going to score at the bottom of that range. But if you only do it once, you might be at the bottom of the range too. So then you've got a point deduction with it if they fall. So my advice, get your points, get out. Okay? L is for legs. Stretch in extended stunts. The flexibility in your jumps and stretching all the way through the leg in everything. Sometimes those legs are so ugly in pyramids and stunts because they're just not really extending, like they can. And so just encourage you to watch that and watch their leg placements. When you've got the hitch over here and the leg lift over here. That's my picture. Crooked. So, yeah. S is for smile, spacing, and synchronization. I told the kids to have natural smiles. Smile like you're smiling for your hometown newspaper picture. We don't need that crap. The tongues. We don't need the attitude. We don't need you to tell them about your chest. We don't need any of that. We just want them to look like they enjoy doing what they do. And y'all encourage that, and you start that here. And that's the same thing. They practice that stuff, don't they? When you're saying do it full out, do they do that stuff? You know what I'm saying? Do they do the facials or whatever?
We encourage it. I don't know if they always do it the way we want, but we encourage it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mentality of, they don't have when I get on stage.
Oh yeah, a lot of that. No, we need to
The
do it
older kids, I
now.
think, I don't
We
know
did that
if
with
they're
Cohen.
on coach
We did
it.
that.
They seem to think, you're saying, come on, more, perform this, and they do more, but it's still not enough And they do actually do get on stage and do it, but then I think that's where the mistake is made, because they're so busy thinking about this. They
Never
forget about
happens
this.
in practice.
Right, and that is a hard one for them to.
Yeah, to
Correct.
get used to
They
this.
think they can do it
But
like that
they
on stage.
think, but
That's
you know,
hard.
I think if you can say it doesn't have to be this over exaggerated. The energy is going to come from your body. You know,
Yeah.
your body language is going to talk about that. You know, so just nice smiles, just nice. Spacing. Nothing makes your picture any uglier than for it to be off. And how frustrating! I was watching your kids line up. The co-ed group spacing was off first thing. I think it was I don't remember one, but it was off first thing. You know, and it's like, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm getting ready for routine, and the spacing's off, and I'm going, well, this doesn't bode well. You know, because I'm thinking, if they can't even space the starting when they had all the time in the world to look where they're going on the mat, you know, where's it going to go from there? So, spacing. Really watch the straight lines. I know the straight lines are fine if you are, you know, tumbling through that sort of thing, but really try to watch that. We don't see it that much anymore, but I just throw that out there. Synchronization, we are looking for synchronization. You know, that tells you to me a lot the strength of a team. You know, if you can go out there and front to back do your skills and your whole team does them, then I'm going to know that your whole team has that. Okay? And if you're only throwing 3 or 4 here, and then you're going to get another 3 or 4 here, and then you're going to get another 3 or 4 here, well, you're taking a lot of time to get your points in that skill. So if you've got the skill, just show it to me. For one thing, it makes it easier. We go, oh yeah, they did all that at once. All right, you know, bonus. We can move on. So, you know, just try to do that as much as you can with your skill sets. I think most of you do. Let's see. Study your score sheets. It sounds like you do for the most part. You need to practice your transitions. And that's what I was talking about, like doing it full out. Like if you don't practice your transitions as much as you practice your dance and everything else, then you're going to have a bump. It's going to happen. I told your kids, talk to them, that got to land your feet together on your jumps. That's the detail. Got to do that. And that's starting with the babies. Whoever coaches your babies, they need to be working on the arm placement, landing the feet together.
Do you like arms in a T or in a low range?
Doesn't matter to me as long as everybody's together. Doesn't matter to me at all. Because I've seen it done every way it can be done, just about. So it's like, as long as it's a uniform look, I'm good with that.
Okay.
On tosses, on their height, I want to encourage you. I took a back.
I just saw it.
I took a back.
I just saw when you said
There's
it.
a infestation going on, I guess, in Maryland. So
Yeah, like
That's so
we've
much
had
rain.
nothing but
Yeah.
rain
Yeah.
forever.
Rain,
So
all the rain,
Yeah.
the flooding.
It's
all
been
the
a
rain,
monsoon.
The hurricane and the month, we've had
Yeah.
gnats everywhere.
And that's
How
and
pleasant.
mosquitoes
How
and-
pleasant for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Wonderful.
wonderful.
Texas, they have no rain.
And we got more rain today.
Yeah. I was
Um,
good stuff.
On the tosses, make your trick obvious. This is what happens is that, and cheer athletics, for example, last year, you know, they wanted to get scored for variety on their baskets. But what they were doing was they were throwing them all at once, and they had good height, but they were doing switch kick doubles and kick doubles. And if you don't execute that skill cleanly at the top, then we're not going to think you're doing the variety that you're doing. So if you are doing a variety and their kids are not executing very well, you might want to toss so that we go, these are the switch kicks and these are the kick, or you know what I'm saying, whatever.
Right.
Kick double, so that we can see the skill, because if we can't see the skill, it didn't happen. I don't care if you did it. If we don't see it, it didn't happen.
Are you talking about, like, if you only have 3 or 4, is that what you're talking about, like kick doubles? that
She's
you have-
saying like if you have
if you have different
Two different
skills
types.
going on,
If you're trying to get a
separate
variety,
them.
Gotcha.
if we
Separate them.
can't see the variety because it's going on at the same time, and they're not clearly executing the skill, then
Do you
can
prefer
also-
the variety, or would you rather have 5 kick doubles together as opposed to variety?
It really is dependent on the company you're judging for. Some of the companies push variety. Worlds has to have variety.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 years ago, everybody was getting kicked on the scores. And it was like, they said, you mean to tell me if I just throw a toe touch? I go, yeah, just one.
Just need one
Just
extra.
give me
Just
a
one
run,
extra.
Just do something somewhere. So it can be that
Sam's the same
simple.
way.
But what I'm saying is, if you're throwing them all at the same time, the kids are not executing cleanly enough for me to delineate that there is a variety going on. It didn't happen.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Watch the speed and length of the transitions in your pyramids. You know when they're just doing all that bouncing. I think it's real boring.
So did you like cheer extremes or see pyramid last year or no? Because I did a lot of the bouncing. I just
Don't remember. Trust me, when I go home from this, it's blank.
yeah. I just went because
I go home and my husband says, "Who won?" I go,
yeah.
"What division? Who knows?" You know, I check the scores. They're right.
Okay.
I don't really hold them in my head.
Yeah.
There's too much.
You said
There's
because
way
well,
too
you knew
much.
athletics. That's why I just figured that.
Oh, that's because I had 3 discussions with them during the season.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that stick in your head.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that. I complain about that shit.
The ones that are pain in
Fix
your
it.
butt.
Well, no,
Fix
it's not. But
Fix it.
you know, when I tell you the first day that if we don't see it, it didn't happen, and you do it the same way, well, you know what? I didn't see it the second day either, and I was watching for it. But you throw that many tosses at once, who knows? Once again on the stunts, match your body positions. Let's talk a little bit about footwork and motion. Like I say, the pink dance I really thought had a lot of potential. Just needed to be cleaner. But the second dance, I still think you could use some work on. When you're watching your teams in practice, move to a different spot. Move to a different angle. Move to a different level on a regular basis. We sometimes are level with the kids. Sometimes we're a little bit above them, and sometimes we're way yonder at cheer sport. Yeehaw, in the back of the room, you know, can you even see their faces type thing. So watch it from all different angles and levels. A lot of times we are at a disadvantage, especially on jumps, so we're looking at heel to hip when we're looking for height on their jumps, is where are their heels in relation to their hips because of where we are in our panel. Let's see. I'm trying to look. These are old. Some of these I've already talked about. I'm looking, see if there's anything I haven't gone over. As a coach, I heard somebody do it tonight. Pull! Who did that? And they were doing their tumbling or something. Did somebody yell?
I say it in jumps sometimes. Jumps backs.
Okay. You're telling me that they can't do the skill when you yelled at competition. You just told me that they struggle. Now, I might have thought they looked pretty good.
I do it for timing issues.
They ought to have that by then.
You mean at a competition, like the cheerleaders saying cool? That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, we hear coaches
Oh,
yelling at
no,
their
no,
kids,
okay.
telling them what to do.
Yeah, if you ain't got it, then you're getting
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, I understand for instructional purposes, yes.
Yeah.
But when you're out there, they're
Yeah.
perfect. They're your kids and they're perfect every day.
Absolutely.
So don't tell me what their weaknesses are. Let me figure it out for myself. And if I happen to miss it, bonus. It's interesting. We are human. We do make mistakes. We try not to. When we have our panel of 3, 5, whatever, however many, depends on the competition. But we do typically have a certain judge that's set up to watch a certain skill set. Their notes should be impeccable as to what's done in that skill set. We will also use those notes on the second day to see if you do the same thing, or if you water it down, or if you add skills. So be aware of that. But as a head judge, I have to watch all of it. But you know, sometimes everybody has their own skill set too. So it just depends on the competition.
Denise, as a head judge, what is your perspective? I know what mine is. If a team tries to throw an extra full and it's going to crash and burn, and they produce no in the back and present it to it, that's not going to help them win, as opposed to it's going to give them the deduction and help them lose.
That's right. I think you might have been it, but I was telling them get their points and get out. That one extra double, that one extra.
Forget it.
It's
Right.
just,
Well, I've been saying that for how long?
yeah.
And we still want to do it, don't we? Oh, I want to throw that extra back against Brand.
Yeah. No,
No.
no. It's not. It's really not.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not worth it.
y'all, especially level 4s and 5s, y'all have so many skills to get in there, period. You know, it takes all the time you got, just about. So use it wisely. Use it wisely. No, we don't. It doesn't make us score any different if your parents are all screaming. And, oh, God forbid they have a blowhorn.
Well, don't tell them
'cause
that.
If I
Oh
could
my
get
God.
if I could only give point deductions for
That is my
blowhorns.
biggest concern. I wish they would
You
get
know,
another competition.
So,
to
yeah.
We'll get a
So I was
contact.
gonna say
I woke up
something.
at a car and there was a drummer behind me, and I literally was like,
Oh,
I'm gonna move now. Thank
For
you.
Pete.
Yeah, Pete.
Yeah.
It was in
Job.
Chester, Philadelphia.
Yes.
I heard it was cool.
You're on, yeah.
When did you get
So
there?
you're saying no blowhorns?
No,
The blowhorns are drums.
I was
No
just
blowhorns.
ordering a dozen of them.
no, yeah, cancel that order, Stacy.
I got it. Cancel the order.
I love how I tell Stacy, cancel it.
I'll take them home.
And how many parents are there or whatever, that doesn't make any difference to us. We're scoring what's on the map.
Yep.
And what's on the map that day. And they can bring, you know, the same routine back 3 or 4 months later. And it may get a different score because it's going to look different. Just body language, like we talked about, showing energy can make a difference. So, you know, if you got this score at one place, that doesn't mean you're going to get that score. Because Ryan and I were doing an interview thing for him, and he was saying with execution being equal, will this or this score better? And I said, first of all, execution is never equal. Even the same kids doing the same thing the same day, it is not going to be equal. Okay? So think about that. Think about your scores. And just because you got a score here one time doesn't mean they did it exactly like that. So don't always expect that.
With staff, as I see that a lot with these guys, as soon as they get a bad score, they want to start changing their routine. All of them.
No, I think you have to figure out by reading the score sheet why you got the score. And most of the time, to be honest, the score that you don't like is because of the execution. It's not because of the skill set. Do you disagree with that?
No.
Okay. Now, we all know that our kids are perfect when they go out there on the mat, but sometimes they're a little more perfect than others in their execution. So, you know, be honest with yourself. Because if you can't be honest with yourself and how they performed, you're not doing them a favor. You know, you gotta stick to what you started with and make it right. Fix it by fixing the execution. You can't fix it by changing the routine unless you're not in the skill set you need to be in for the level you're at. Agree? Okay, I think that's all that I have. So I wanted you to ask, oh, no, big. Uniforms, appropriate for all sizes and ages. Appropriate. You know, there's nothing worse than the big girl that is pulling out a uniform. It is very distracting. And when we talk about uniformity, that is not uniform. They're not all picking it out of their crotch at the same time. They're not all tugging at the skirts at the same time. That is distractions. You don't want those. So make sure that your uniforms fit them properly, that they're appropriate for their age level, as their dance should also be appropriate. So, okay, now, you ask me questions. and I'll see if I can answer them.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So it's very specific to my team.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I coach the level 5 team, so obviously this last season and at Worlds specifically, large group synchronized tumbling was the thing. So what we have in our routine is we have kids are coming and going, but about 11 girls throwing doubles out of one corner.
Out of one corner?
This is the problem though, if you can imagine. So to get 11 people into one corner was very tricky, but we got it. They all tumbled to the other corner. Now here's the problem. The rest of the people left tumbling are obviously not our strong tumblers. There's fools. Some good, some not so good. Anyway, to get these girls out of this corner, to get somewhere else, to throw another double or so to show some specialty passes. Very time consuming. I mean, when you were saying like just get in, get out, and go, and I'm thinking we got like a 10-8 count pass set because it's not quite. It's 9 count, but
I'm not even.
But if
I'm
you
not
can
even
imagine,
interested in your tumbling for that long. I'll just
right. So that's what I'm asking. So what is the better way to do this? Because it took hours to choreograph because to get that to happen, but then to show that we have specialty passes, which were the same kids. So
why can't you do another skill set? Why don't you throw a pyramid in that corner, walk that puppy out to another corner, and bam,
separate it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I said and it was very difficult to choreograph. I mean, it took a long time.
And that's the little things like that, like timing. When you've got a group, if they're coming across the mat together, if their feet and hands aren't hitting, that is a hot mess.
And they look good. I will tell you, they actually do it very well. It's a beautiful thing to look at. But then afterwards, like we gotta get all those kids out of our corner and do some more variety.
In retrospect to that, I told them not to do that. I told them to do doubles and fulls, and then a couple specialty passes and be over with it. And they choreographed that inside. Would they have scored better by just doing that in about a 4 or 5 count as opposed to a 9 count?
But it's not sometimes.
Let Denise answer this.
No, but I'm just telling you, it takes us that long to get them out of the corner. We can't. That's what the problem is. The transition out of the corner.
Normal tumbling sequence, or have the 11 kids come out of the corner.
That's my question.
Yeah.
As a judge.
Right. That's what I'm asking. It took too much time to get them out of there to get them.
So you're saying if you just did front to back.
Or
you could split apart and get your.
No, I'm saying, say we did the 11 double fulls. Now you said put a pyramid in there, and then we did a couple of specialty passes, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
We got our points.
Yeah.
That's like 3 to 4 counts.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't all have to be together.
Right.
No, but we were just going for something with 11 doubles. We showed majority. Then we have some specialty passes. We showed so we're giving you synchronized. We're giving you specialty passes, and we showed you we got everything. So what do we need to show you any more for?
You don't.
That's what I'm asking.
Just get your points.
Good, because I mean it's a lot of time on the.
So that's where I was talking about. If you time your routine
right,
and
no,
you go,
we know, we were
I
doing
am
it,
spending
like,
this many seconds
so
in
long.
tumbling.
Yeah.
What am I
That's our
spending?
problem. It's like this just takes too much time. Even look at it on paper. I look at it and go, ugh.
It's really long. It's bigger than our pyramid.
But there was no other way to do it other than we need to split it up. Or my other question was going to be, the flip thought was going to be, should we just throw 7 out of that corner and then do 4 other doubles somewhere else to get the majority? Like that was my flip side of the question was.
So basically, you don't care as long as you're throwing majority. As long as you're getting the doubles, you don't care how they're throwing.
Yeah. We don't. We want it to be entertaining. You know, and if you have to make it hard, and you're going to lose. I think if you're in a tumbling section for that long, you're going to lose my interest.
I mean, it loses my interest on paper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Well, like I said, that's what I was saying. Or is it better to do less people coming out of that corner, and then everything flows, and we have less counts, and then it's great. I don't know which is the better thing.
What we're probably doing is we're probably going to go 5 and 6, and then we're going to do some specialty passes, and I'm not going to do any sideway junk at all.
That's what
and
I
I'm
was
done
saying.
with
Just
it.
split them between.
And just
You know where
done.
they need to go.
Yeah.
Do you think that would?
Either way,
Judge-wise?
I think either way. That's where when you're asking me, it's like, it really depends on what it looks like that day and how it flows. Like, does it really flow? If it flows with 11 of them and you do stunts.
It actually looks pretty good with 11.
Or dance.
It flows really nice, but it does take a lot of 8 counts to do it, and that's what I worry about. Is like, like I say, could you give them more counts to do this or that instead of rushing there or whatever? That's what I'm concerned about. I like it, but it actually.
But that's where I wanted to try to get to you. as a coach, and this is not to you, this is just coaches overall, don't hold on to it just because you came up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it just doesn't work.
Doesn't work. Okay. No, that
And-
helps a lot.
You know, and I think that's why coaches get upset at the judges a lot, because it's your baby, you birthed it, you know, and you think it's perfect. Well, guess what? We have a different opinion. They ask us to be there because we travel everywhere and we look at all of them, you know, so we're just trying to make you be better. So if I'm writing you a comment, take it to heart. We have to justify the scores that we put down on that paper. They are not just picked out of the air, and it's not personal. We're just trying to say, this is where you failed today. This is how you did today. Other questions? Anything? I just think boost your kids up. Talk to them about the energy. As a coach, every day, it's how they execute every day that they will perform. Now, I don't coach anymore, and when I did coach, it was college and we didn't do competitions. That was back long. So, I don't know how to do that every day. I don't know how to tell you how to do that. But I know that uniformity is the key. Execution is the key. And it has to start with level 1. And if you've already got level 5 and they're doing all kinds of different stuff when they're in their execution, you got to get on it right now.
Yeah.
Go back, work on the jumps, work on them. But, jumps are easy points to get. But you got to have the flexibility. You got to land your feet together. If you're not doing that, how do you want to get a good jump score? We see, and what we feel like is that teams come overall, this is an overall, and they have worked on their stunting, and they've worked on their tumbling, and they've left their transitions, their dance. Sometimes pyramids go by the wayside. It's like they don't practice those, and it shows. And they don't practice presentation. So, what makes you want to watch a routine again? What makes you want to watch a routine again?
Mostly their energy. They're, just showing that they're into it, that they're enjoying themselves, that they're having fun, and they're hitting.
And it's fun to watch.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
I like it.
It is fun to watch. Like, I love, one of the kids asked me, and I said, sometimes I get chills.
Yes.
I love, when I get chills, I get a little tin. I don't get chills that much, but I do get them.
Sure.
But, and it's usually because the routine has been put together in a way that I didn't see any transitions, and I didn't have to worry about them falling, and the execution was just pretty. Now, I've heard rumor, and I don't know this, and I've always wanted to have time to watch, but I've heard that Spirit of Texas, and y'all seen them, they usually do a nice job on their transitions, and they're usually clean. I've heard, and I don't know, but I've heard that they are taught to start, they all start like on their right foot, like out of each stunt.
Yeah, they do that.
Okay, so I don't know that to be true, but I'm thinking that would make a difference, because then we are organized. We are uniform. So, that pushes me off the chart to think about trying to work that out, but I just can't push uniformity and execution enough.
And we talked about it earlier. The correction is the stunning is 40% this year, correct?
Yes.
Just
judged yet.
I haven't judged.
But that's what the rules are calling for. Christine? Christine.
Well, it depends on the score
She works
sheet.
for Spirit Unlimited.
Yeah, I work for Epic Brand, Spirit Unlimited, and ACDA. But depends on score sheet. Jam score sheet, yeah. Your building score sheet is jam packed 40. It's like 40% of your score.
And like Worlds is.
Yeah.
Worlds
Right.
is just
Yeah.
sends me over the edge, but
But if you go to some other ones, no. But jam it's jam packed. You got to have it all. It's ridiculous.
and if the international building score sheet was
Mhm.
oh those numbers are just so funny looking, when they come to me, but yeah. Yeah.
And guys, and just to help her along, I'm pretty well versed on quite a few score sheets just because I've developed quite a few. I've actually been involved in the development of quite a few. So if you have questions about a score sheet, come to me. And if it's a score sheet I'm not familiar with, I'm sure I can find that person who is very familiar with it. So, because I do have those contacts. So
I just,
you know,
they give me a piece of paper and they give me a rubric, I'm good with that.
just follow along.
Whatever company does whatever.
Have you ever judged for any of the jam events? Ever?
Let me think. Don't do this.
Sorry, what?
You don't want to know my opinion.
All right, but that's my question. So, I mean, have you judged on that scoring system?
I've judged, what's the blonde's name? I can't come.
Serena.
Serena.
I've done a couple of her events.
Okay.
Serena.
Just, I need
Yes,
a general
yes.
opinion of the score sheet. What is your opinion
still
of
call
their
you.
score
Sorry,
sheet
please.
and their rubric?
I think some companies just, they've taken all the fun out of it for us.
Thank you. Absolutely.
And
it's making it
and
too
it's taking
difficult.
the fun out the kids.
It's too difficult for
Yeah.
even you guys to follow half the time because you're like counting this and then counting
We're
that
counting.
and then counting this
And
and
that's-
you're
that was
become
one thing
you're,
with
you're
Justin.
mathematicians now.
He said, when they get to majority,
Mm-hmm.
just stop counting. And then enjoy. And that's when you really get to feel good about a routine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when they go front to back with a tumbling pass and they all do it, oh, we can have fun. We're not counting. Cheer sport drives me
Absolutely.
insane. Insane. And Kevin knows I love him dearly. But honest to goodness, if I could burn his whole idea process, I would.
He's not hard-headed, is he?
Oh no, not him, no.
Oh my.
Oh no.
Because nothing bothers me more. I have a few pet peeves. But to give the same score to a baby 1, mini 1, and special needs that I have to give to a level 5 team. Because they did the best they can do. To me, it has no value. When I put that 9 down, because they had this many kids that attempted a skill in level 1 tinies, just gives no value to me in comparison to putting that score down for a level 4 or 5 or whatever. Because that is the best they can do. But in the whole scheme of the world, that's a 4 or a 5.
Dallas
me.
Dallas got the best score sheet.
And to count tumbling at your sport, he made 2 years ago, the head judge had to count tumbling and be responsible for everybody else on the panel.
So he was counting.
And he counts
He was
each
your
skill.
Q- he was your Q-
counts
Q judge.
each skill. So if they hit a full to a full, that's 1 and that's 2. And like
Right.
NCAA is like, how many kids got there? And you know, you were sitting there and you're going 38, 39, 40. I didn't know what the heck was going on the rest of the routine because all I'm doing was counting tumbling.
Counting tumbling.
Boy, I told him about it in a hurry. Because that's just stupid.
Because they're turning you guys into mathematicians versus trying to
Yeah.
actually look at the routine and judge.
Can we really
It
count?
drives me nuts.
How many fingers and toes do I have? Instead of just enjoying.
So I agree.
Y'all make them fun for us to watch. Easy for us to count and fun for us to watch. That's really important.
Do them all at once, we're done.
Yeah.
And then entertain.
Yeah, entertain.
Okay. You want to? Well, I'll make up. Okay. Thank you. I want to talk about the staff a little bit.
Okay.
Thanks
All
so
right.
much.
Thank
You're
you.
so,
Thank you.
so educational.
All my stuff. Yeah.
For a fee.
Yeah. Today? No. How about if I